Now that I'm a typically very friendly girl, friendliness is honestly the best policy you can have in life. How you treat others usually reflects how you view yourself. So if you're really mean and hateful to other people, then it kind of reflects, that you don't have confidence in yourself to be a happy person. And you never know how close a person is to their breaking point. You never know how close they are to the edge. And you may be the only positive influence in that person's life. So my best policy is always just to smile. Nobody's ever going to persecute you for smiling at them. So that's one of my biggest things that I push towards, is always being very friendly. And you may not know this, but I'm going to be president one day. My grandmother has instilled in me since I was little that I would be president, the first female president one day. That may seem a little far-fetched and a little out of this world, but to me it shows that she has faith in me. When no one else on this planet, I feel like, has faith in me or believes in me, I can go to my grandma. I can say, I have this really tight deadline on this English speech that I have to give. And she'll say, well, you've got to work hard, you've got to do this, you've got to get your head out of your ass. That's what she always says. Those are her words straight from her mouth, so don't. But she has certainly, and she had to work hard her entire life. She was a single mother. She raised 3 daughters. She has stripped tobacco. She has worked in fast food. She has told me about coming home with her hands bleeding because she's had to work so hard, because she never got an opportunity for higher education when she was my age. So if anything, I want to live to make my grandmother proud. She's one of the biggest influential people in my life, along with my brother. And she always told me, you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And that's a quote that I hold extremely dear to my heart. It's actually a country song by Aaron Tippin, but I believe that the message behind it is what really matters. If you don't have anything in this world that you truly believe in and that you're truly passionate about, then anybody can convince you to do anything. So, I'm clearly not the most interesting